Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank you for attend our call today. Today we are going to present to you our the latest vendor, Energy Logserver. It's Polish company who started a project for log management and SIEM solution on the Polish market. Right now they've got like plenty customers in Poland, a few customers in Central and Eastern Europe, and right now, we would like to extend their sales force. On our call, we've got two guys from the vendor side. First of all, I would like to introduce Łukasz Nieborek. Łukasz is responsible for channel and for sales in our region, and we've got solution architect Artur Bicki, and Artur will tell to us Energy Logserver story, how it started, and what kind of competition we can see on our markets. So thank you very much, Łukasz. Time is yours.
Thank you, Piotr. One more time. Hello, my name is Łukasz Nieborek. I'm a business development manager in MK Software. And who we are, actually. We are really happy to see you on this webinar, and I believe that we will start a great cooperation in your projects and in your countries, and you will see the new opportunity to grow your business with us, with our platform. During the presentation, we will prove you that Energy Logserver is a platform which, with success, can compete with another strong players on log management or SIEM market. So we are a really young company, actually. Our history started in 15 years when we were challenged by one of our customer in bank sector to prepare dedicated platform to manage and analyze huge amount of data. Artur will back to this case study in the next step of our presentation. As I mentioned, our company is still young, but we grow really fast thanks to cooperation and partnerships agreements with our business partners. Thanks to them, our system is already presented in Western and North Europe, APAC, USA, Middle East, and North Africa. And now, thanks to our cooperation with Bakotech, and we want to build our position in Central, Eastern, Southern Europe. Our story, as I mentioned, our first implementation took place in 2015. Our 1 year later, we established dedicated company responsible for Energy Logserver development. Till 2018, our focus was on data analysis and log management market. But in meantime, we put a lot of effort to build SIEM functionalities on our platform because we were sure that nowadays customers' demands needs another approach than SIEM market actually offers. So we also extend our portfolio by adding also network analysis plan to analyze net flow and network traffic. But in meantime, we also start to build our network of partnerships and distributors like Bakotech. Energy Logserver is a great place to collect any data from IT environment. So we have a lot of tools to analyze those data, and we give great opportunity to work with them in multiple perspectives. Artur will talk today about a few of them, and I give him voice right now.
Thank you, Łukasz. So indeed, our story began from collecting logs from operating systems, but very quickly we recognized that the demand for data and for building the knowledge from the data is huge, which is why there are multiple use cases for enabling Energy Logserver in the infrastructure. We touch many layers inside IT departments. Where, of course, we start with logs, with pure logs, with files, with syslog data, but very quickly we enlarge the ecosystem, the connectivity to different sources, which made us to operate like a data warehouse for IT, which was always missing. The demand for the information is huge. That's why so many use cases are mentioned on the screen. What we actually can provide, starting from daily operations, providing knowledge from raw logs, jumping to security, calculating SLA statistics for applications, providing dashboards for our business, and doing some predictions, some calculations based on numbers, targeting artificial intelligence, so we can build a whole ecosystem for providing analysis from IT data. Our story began with a very nice example where we discovered that there is a demand for the system. 5 years ago, we started discussion with one of the largest banks in Poland. That customer already had SIEM solution in place, and the story repeats from this project on and on, because many SIEM solutions could not handle that high demand of collecting, indexing data. And that was the story. We were asked to build a solution to index 60,000 APS, documents per second, to keep the retention for 3 years. And that made a total volume of 2 petabytes, 1 terabyte a day. Was a demand for collecting data every day. So we started to build architecture on top of open source components like Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, and we added enterprise features to actually be able to act on the financial market in the sector. We had to enrich the platform and integrate, enrich with features, provide performance, and integrate with existing SIEM solution. And that story very often is still in place. So our customers are looking for platform that can be extended, can adapt to high demand of indexing rates, that can act quickly, that the performance can be good. On other hand, we don't want customer to switch the existing security platforms. Maybe at one day they will decide to do so, but we can easily integrate, show benefits, change, implement new use cases, and month after month, maybe after year, we can show that jumping from logs, integrating with various log sources, we can at the end say clearly that we act as SIEM, and we have SIEM rules and provide all the use cases that are needed for SIEM platform. Talking about the data that we can read is more or less any text that we can analyze, because we have agents for reading Windows events. We can index application logs, raw log files, custom logs. syslog, of course, is a standard, but as an addition, we can also execute scripts and index results from those scripts and read that as text in that system. All kinds of integrations based on HTTP, JSON, API calls, or JDBC are also possible. So simply any source that can be automated, that we are able to integrate and see the result as a time stamp, and the text, parsed text divided with fields, and that will build the whole data volume in Energy Logserver. We talk about three different deployment models. We start with the one in the middle, with the log management plan, when we introduce Logserver in role of central log collecting platform. Then we can jump to next use cases like SIEM, and also like network analysis. Those components require additional license, but also bring great value in the platform. In SIEM plan, we analyze all data that are indexed from all those sources that I've mentioned. We recognize devices. We have already configured input for indexing different types of devices to put them in correct parsing rules, detect suspicious behavior. We provide to those sources alerts. Next step is to analyze the data with provided IOC databases. We provide in that plan various lists that are updated daily, that consist of bad IP reputation database, bad URLs, Tor sites. We provide all those IOC indicators of compromise. It is integrated in the platform, so we can use them in real time to catch any situation that has a symptom of, for example, bad URL from your proxy server, bad IP from your connectivity in your web server. We can analyze that also with rules to analyze the larger history, a larger time frame, and see result whether this suspicious behavior was seen in the past. Is it still available, or when it has started? Also, we provide agent for host analysis, where we integrate with Project Bazooch, and we trace the configuration of the system, behavior of processes, all the malicious activity on the host, not only from logs. It's also included in SIEM plan. In total, we provide more or less 700 detection rules that covers different aspects of security. A very nice feature is a file and registry integrity checks, where we can trace all the changes on files and selected folders. Also for Windows environment and the registry, we can see what kind of changes are done in our infrastructure, on how many systems, whether the behavior repeats or not. All this can be analyzed very quickly on dashboards and on alerts. We try to make a summary from all the data we collect. That's why system is rich with reports create in order to provide the summary efficiently, not to force our users to dig into details of every row log, but we try to make a summary, to present the data in time frames, on graphs, and you can see that in SIEM we provide dashboards for different aspects of security analysis. The dashboards are easy to navigate, to change, but the system is already equipped with a good set of reports, dashboards that we can use, and once the data is connected, it will be fit with the data. Another example of use case for Energy Logserver is a network analysis plan. We can do two things in that area. First, we can put a sensor in your network and read from the copy of the traffic from span port. We can analyze everything that is sent in that port is seen there. Not only who is talking with what IP talks to another and what is the volume. Of course, we provide that knowledge, but with the sensor, we can understand the protocols, applications. There are a number of compatibility. The compatibility list is rich with protocols that we can see, for example, DNS requests and analyze that towards IOC, but domain names, and detect malicious behavior inside DNS traffic, because we understand that with the sensor. So apart from reading DNS logs, we can get that from the traffic. Also, we support various versions of NetFlow. And it does not require a sensor, because we read NetFlow on the inside the core system. But in that network analysis plan, we provide correlation rules and reachable dashboards for analyzing the data effectively. Short example how the network analysis can be presented. We support different sets of visualizations, like the geolocation, recognition of AS, of countries. Everything is data here, so we can make statistics on the data, on fields, what is the percentage of that port, of the utilization of that traffic, that IP. Everything is easy to navigate. We can select IP. Everything is being recalculated. If we pick one IP, the dashboard will be automatically adapt to search, to change in our query. Very often the system as an initial starting point is introduced in the log management plan, where we need to fulfill requirements from different regulations. One of them is GDPR. It could be internal regulation of our companies, of our customers, where we are asked to keep the data simply. Very often in public sector, in finance, insurance, mission critical industries need to keep records of suspicious actions or actions on critical systems. Very simply, all the logs need to be centralized, and this is very common use case for our system and a good starting point, because reading logs is like a fundament. It's a base for building the knowledge on next steps. Here, what we provide is an ability to adapt to high demand of collecting data. This is unique because we try to we don't ask the question to the customer, what are your sources? Please select the top sources, and then we will index, because the license will afford only this and that. We don't want to force our customers to select only those most important. We want to build the whole ecosystem for reading all logs. All integrations must be done to really build a data warehouse for that logs. And the system need to scale very simply. We build clusters that contain nodes. We spin up new nodes without a restart, and very easily we can provide architecture for index hundreds of gigabytes in the platform. So this is obligatory, and not many vendors can do that effectively like we do. There are also very interesting use cases for the platform that are not so obvious, like providing indicators, the KPIs, some calculations on top of data. Very often the data is sent from applications. Maybe the application can be developed in that way to provide some indicators. Something has started, something has ended, and we can trace, calculate time, duration, success rate. We can integrate the data with other monitoring tools like OP5, NAGIOS, Zabbix, SCOM, etc. Very often we need to integrate with another Elasticsearch. In that use case, we build view for application managers, where we talk about simply SLA, some calculations on top of application data, which are not so obvious. It's not security. It's a custom layout very often that the manager would like to see and track. For example, we build a report for different for the whole bunch of applications in customer environment, and you can see on that screen that applications consist of that many hosts, that many containers, databases. It's not very clear to see, but at the top you can select application name, and everything will be automatically scaled to that application. So once selected, we can see how many databases are in that application and what is the performance on underlying components. So it's not log management, it's not SIEM, it's a SLA for applications. So very often we build this use case on top of another data that we already collect. Through all this, we say that we try to be the single source of information in IT environment, because we integrate with so many sources. We can enrich data. Once data is passed to the system, we can process that in real time. We can enrich with dictionary files, compare it with IOC databases, add tags, labels, and also we can provide the data not only to our GUI users, but also to applications, because we have strong API, and very often we can expose that API to provide calculations, aggregations, only the results for external applications. This is the idea of building a single silos for the really rich amount of data, integrated, easy to extend, and easy to provide to external systems. The architecture is built on top of components that few of us probably recognize. We add enterprise features to open source project, which is called Elasticsearch/Kibana. So our GUI interface is built on top of that project, and can be detached from the single solution. Is depend on the architecture, on the size, on the scale. We can divide layers, put that into different components, servers, to provide performance that is required. So in our log management plan, it can be single system that contains all features responsible for interaction with users, indexing data, and interact with agents responsible for parsing. If we want to take step forward, to take next step, we can upgrade that plan into SIEM plan and network analysis plan. That gives us ability to analyze a new spectrum of data.
Thank you, Artur. As Artur told you already about our present licenses and upgrade plans, we still work about extending our portfolio in another IT areas. So in the future, we are sure that we will extend our portfolio with another upgrade plans which address another areas of IT environments of our customers. Could you? Let's talk about licensing. As Artur mentioned, log management plan is our core of licensing, and this is the base for SIEM and network analysis plan. We license our licensing is based only on those area which is responsible for keeping data in our system. It means data nodes, and a number of those data nodes provides knowledge how much our customers have to go to keep this data. So Single data node can handle logs from 200, 300 hosts with 12 months retention, or we can put it in APSs. It means that we can keep, for example, 5,000 of APSs each day. We don't limit performance of our data nodes. We want to show our customers that we want to be as much elastic and effective to give them opportunity to think that they don't have to think about new data source and what will happen with system when we plugged in next system if our log management solution will stop because it's too many data to keep. Our log management plan can be upgraded to SIEM and network analysis plan. But how we want to build our goal architecture on Energy? We need to know how many data and how long we want to keep them in our system. Important information is also if customer needs to keep our solution in high availability. Answer for these questions give us simple knowledge if we should offer single node, which will be kept on all-in-one hardware or software appliance, or we have to provide cluster of data nodes. If we talk about SIEM plan upgrade, those module is offered in a few license tiers, which are depending from the number of Energy Logserver data nodes, but not the single one. Fixed price of each SIEM plan license volume is depending from few tiers. There are few examples. If you, Arthur, can show some examples. What's important? If number of data nodes in cluster is rising, customer have to just cover difference between previous and actual SIEM plan tier. When we talk about network analysis plan, we just have to know number of Energy Logserver sensor nodes, which will be responsible for collecting data from environment of our customer. So if customer have many branch offices, we have to focus on those number and think how many sensors we need to provide to the customer. We saw not only licenses, we want to give you as much support as you will need in your projects. So there are many tiers of education levels in our portfolio. We want to keep you updated and give you as many knowledge as you want to keep in your team, and we always encourage you to build your experience about Energy Logserver and sell those professional services not only with our support but also by your own. Of course, in those professional services, we focus to implement this system, but we also want to give you some examples and knowledge how to switch actual SIEM solutions or log management solutions to our system, how to upgrade Elasticsearch environments in customer on customer side. This will be the first idea how to sell our system. If you talk with customer and you hear about Elasticsearch, you should focus about this knowledge and show the differences and how much we can add to their environment right now by adding an Energy Logserver.
Thank you, Łukasz. For the moment, we will focus on SIEM market in general. A short definition, I expect that we all know exactly what SIEM is, but we won't clearly say that we provide all those features. Nowadays, we jump into every project, public tender, where SIEM is a topic, and we win. We can do custom deliveries when there is a feature that is highly expected and the project is interesting. We can easily adapt. We can talk with you about the chances, the risk, the measure, the effort that we need to provide to introduce the system into the tender, into your project. And nowadays, SIEM deployments are the most important topic for all the projects that we support. That's why we, for the moment, would like to focus on competitors. We look carefully to each provider, to each vendor. Very often we try to learn. We try to we challenge. We operate with very often we integrate with those vendors, so we learn. But also we want to show the differences, how we see it. Always we never want to say any bad words to our competitors. We always need to value them and understand why the system is in place, what are the pros and cons, and in that area, with your projects, we want to help you to show to customer where is the value, because if the customer will not see the value in our platform, we do not want to jump into the solution. This waste of time. It's important that we understand benefits, why others. So very quickly, let's try to understand and compare solutions that are already on the market. Very often, as Łukasz said, one of the competitor is pure Elasticsearch, and very often it's a starting point for a discussion, because it's pure Elasticsearch is, I don't know, maybe some of you remember, like 10 years ago, there was always NAGIOS core somewhere hidden under the desk. In large enterprises, there were a number of instances of the system, and nowadays it's happened to Elasticsearch as well. It's so easy to spin up a node. It's so easy to install that departments, each department in enterprise runs own Elasticsearch cluster, and for the enterprise, it's a problem to maintain, to delegate resources, to run all this ecosystem. So whenever you hear about open source projects, you can expect that there are problems behind it, and we try to solve that problem, because there is no support for the platform. There are some features that jump jump out, like authentication. It is partly supported right now. Previously, it was not supported at all. Now it's supported, but you cannot integrate with external authentication platforms like Active Directory. There is no control to your data. I mentioned all those features, of course, in comparison to what we provide. So yeah, we provide data access control, we provide roles management, we provide alerts, internal auditing, but we need to remember that the platform works. We can the customer that are familiar with Elasticsearch do collect logs and create dashboards, and it can provide partly features that they require. Of course, there is an offering from Elastic CO company that stays partly behind the open source project. They partially build open source solution, and also they provide own enterprise features that are comparable to what we do, because they cover all those missing factors that I mentioned with open source version. So they do have right access control to the data. They provide reporting. They provide alerting, auditing. So more or less comparable with features. We try to focus more on IT data. This competitor need to support any use case that is connected to Elasticsearch database. We rather focus on IT department, IT logs, the use cases for SIEM, network analysis. So we have narrowed our offering to be stronger in that area, to provide parsers, to build rules. They do not. I think they cannot support that whole ecosystem that they act with. So this is the difference. Very often we can calculate architecture effectively, but based on examples, it's easier to analyze offering when we have a possible project. Minimal offering from Elastic is 3 nodes, 3 years. And now they turned a little bit into calculation based on memory JVM dedicated to the platform. So it's not easy to provide offering to the customer, because from first day you don't know how much memory you need to delegate to your cluster, and that's a new licensing model they want to support. What we see, there is a very small margin for selling for renewals, which we don't like, and we want you, our partners, to simply bring good projects and that we can all make good money. It's important for us that you will make good money, and we understand this very clearly, and that's why this competition is not so risky as we see it. It's good to know that there is NAGIOS Logserver on the market, something the NAGIOS Enterprises has built, also working on Elk Stack. They added to open source version some GUI wizards, but there is no access control regarding data. There is username and password for the GUI, but it does not change view inside the system on your data. So some factors, some add-ons to this open source version are there, but the system is not really updated and very comparable to open source. But it's good to recognize them because it's a known brand. very often we see a competitor like SPLUNK. We all know that their licensing model is based on number of data of gigabytes per day. So it put a risk of collecting data. It put the risk to the customer if they can add new source, if they can afford new volume or not. They need to change the license. It is a great software, really. I also like how Splunk works, but we see that the risk of thinking about how to enlarge the license, which is of course not cheap, is a chance for us, because we don't limit the performance, we don't limit the number of sources. We give you license for number of nodes. How much loaded the nodes will be, it's a project decision, it's a customer decision, but we can handle much more that we first recognize. We can support more sources. Maybe we can we will degrade the performance. Yeah, probably, but there is no risk of losing data or going across the license, breaking the license rules. So this is the challenge Splunk got on the market, and we try to show our benefits of our licensing model. It's also important to know that SIEM features in Splunk need another license. In different projects, we see all those vendors that provide SIEM systems that are well known on the market from years. What we see from and what we understand from discussions with our customers is that nowadays the platform need to be larger, need to work across departments. It's not common nowadays to build the system only for SOC, and this is the story of those vendors. They do not like to keep to support that retention that we can put into our solution. So very often they want to keep metadata, incidents, but not all raw logs in the platform, and be able to provide reports from 1 year data effectively. So this is the challenge for all of them, and this is the point for the discussion with the customers. That, yeah, if you collect your logs from different sources, why not to provide the system to different departments for application performance monitoring, for business managers, application managers, and different users with the same sources, with the same platform. This is what we can do. Some the selected customers that we work with from our market, global market, insurance, finance, education, telcos. As stated at the beginning, we operate on the global market through already established partner network that's working really nice. We have the dedicated support department to work with international customers. So we are ready to build the project with you, and to maintain, to support, provide updates to everything that we build together. I don't know if we have questions. We have still some minutes left, which I can use for jumping into the platform. I think it's a good moment, or maybe we have questions to answer.
Okay, Arthur. So maybe it's good idea to jump into the platform for a while just to show us a graphical user interface. And in the meantime, I would like to ask all attendees if you have any questions, you can address it in our chat. So right now, when Arthur will try to explain how it works on live demo, you can ask the questions in the chat, and we'll answer it after the short demo session. So time is yours.
Thank you. Piotr, just tell me, because we consider on the presentation, if there are questions, please interrupt and we will have a discussion.
Yeah, we'll do for sure. Thank you.
Okay, so first, what you've seen is login to our system where we can use our role-based access control to the data, because as I said, we have roles in the system, and what is important, we have the mechanism of providing the data, the security mechanism, auditing mechanism is inside database, inside Elasticsearch. So our development is divided into parts. Part for the GUI interface, for the engine, for the correlation rules, and second part is being delivered as plugins to Elasticsearch. Important to mention is that we are still fully compatible with the stack. What you can read on the forums, on open source, in open source community, we all support that. But what we do, we provide very exact knowledge how to configure that. So the system is built with like components that are responsible for development, for features, and for settings that are also easy to find in among those open source projects. But here, everything's already configured. So the Java settings, the policies, the operating system kernel parameters, all is there to be able to provide the performance that we require. Having said that, the role access control is actually provided from the database side, which is why we do have here the methods for accessing data that you can use also on the API level. If you want to integrate Logserver with external tool, you need to create a role here first, create a user first, and then you will be able to query the system from external interfaces. In that module, we also give you ability to add objects like dashboards, reports, saved searches to the role. So this is when you compare it to open source version. Here, when user jumps in, he sees only that part of data that he should, talking about data itself, but also objects that analyze the data, like dashboards. So everything is connected to the role. Everything is integrated with external authorities like Active Directory, LDAP. We support single sign-on, Radius. So everything is in place. What I want to show here is also ability to audit each activity of our user and also the integrated user in the database, because auditing is done on the enterprise on the Elasticsearch level. So that feature allows us to act in the financial sector, because there the system can keep really data that we need to track who is querying, for what queries are being launched, what is even the content, the result from the query. We can record all of this. When we jump to the data, very quickly, I'll just open new search. What we have here is a graphical presentation of the number of documents. We see the numbers at the left-hand side are really, really huge. For the last 7 days, we have over 1 million documents from syslog. On the left-hand side, we have parsed components from the message. One single message can look like this, or can be parsed in more details, independent on deployment. Syslog, Windows events, the layout will look a little bit different because there are different components, but everything is parsed. And what parsing gives us is the ability to very quickly turn the view from searches from that row log view, as I said. We can turn it quickly to visualizations. I'm looking for a field called ID. And okay, I'll pick that, select ID. It will jump over here. With single click, we see the statistics over that field, and we can turn it into visualizations. So among 7 days, we see number of hits for single event. It is split with the for each value. It's the top values here that you can see on the screen. And so from that moment, we start to play with the data, to analyze, to build sophisticated dashboards. One moment for dashboards. Dashboards can really be sophisticated with some slide bars, navigation menu, charts on times, pie charts, summaries, etc., tables, different aspects. How you can analyze the data. Also, we can provide information on graphs to connect incidents in a graph model. And I think for the last giving the last impression, very short introduction into alerting engine, where we can create different methods of detecting changes in the data automatically. Inside, below that interface runs an engine that analyzes the data in different aspects, track changes, track appearance of something that is stored on the blacklist. We support regular expressions. We detect spikes. Spikes is a method that can track that will build a baseline for your data and detect change in the baseline. Something new has happened. Also, we have different detection rule for that. From version to version, we build number of rules, and we provide that with updates. So you can use it, or you can analyze how it's built and connect it to your use case, to your project. I would like to thank you.
Yeah, go on.
Thank you. All the details, it's too much for one session. We wanted to give you to introduce ourselves and to give you first impression how we are, what we can provide, and open the discussion for possible projects.
Okay, the one question just show up previously. There was a question about pricing, so I would like to give you an answer. So with one data node for log management, which can handle up to 5,000 EPS, it costs less than 12,000 euros. So in comparison to other vendors, we are on the very good performing on the price level, and in the same time we can compete with them, as Arthur and Łukasz mentioned. So thank you for the question. Also, I would like to thank you for your time. We are very open to present to you Energy Logserver on the separate session. You can handle it. You can organize such session with our guys, with Christina and Wojciech, and then we will set up a specific session just for you, just for your customers, and we can do the magic, and Arthur will provide demo show for you and your customers. So I would like to thank you once again for your time, and probably keep in touch in a very near future.
Yes, I hope that Piotr also share with you our contact, direct contact to me and Arthur, so you can also ask us directly about your projects, about your ideas, and also, for example, demo sessions for you, for your technical teams or your customers, as Piotr mentioned. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much once again. Thank you, guys. And have a nice day, of course.
Right.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Stay in touch.
Have a nice day.